Sawadee krap. Hello. This is Sandy talking to you from Pattaya, and the channel is We Are Talk of Thailand. People said to me, it cannot be done. It's not possible. You're not allowed to. I wanted to bring in my medication from the UK legally and without any chance of it getting lost. And I went to the post office and I went to DHL, and everyone, as soon as I said, I want to bring medication from the UK to here, everyone said, no, it cannot be done. And then just one person, a very clever lady doctor in Bangkok, where I was buying my medication from at a very high price. I told her that I've got a big stock of medication in the UK, and she told me exactly how to go about getting that medication in. If you want to know how, then please, let's go and I'll tell you. So, what did this doctor tell me in Bangkok? She told me that she would give me a prescription, and with that prescription I would be able to get my medication brought into Thailand through customs. And I looked at her incredulously and I said, I don't think so. I said, because I've already inquired about this in several places and everyone tells me it's not possible. I said, and in fact, I've even been into a major company who does the logistics of these things. I said DHL, and they have assured me that I cannot bring it in. And she smiled and she said, no. She said, not DHL, no, they cannot. FedEx are the people you need to speak to, she said. They will get your medication here for you. So, I then went and contacted FedEx, and even when I went into their office here in Pattaya and I said I wanted to bring medication from the UK to here, the girl in the office said, oh no, you can't bring medication into Thailand from abroad. I said, well, I have it on authority from a doctor who says that she's advised several of her patients to do it that way, and she said it's regular and it's okay. So then this girl who seemed in the FedEx office here, who seemed, I'm wasting my time, but she said, okay, I'll ring my headquarters and I'll ask them. So indeed she rang them while we were there, and I saw her facial expression changing as she was listening to what was said, and then she said to me, she said, okay, you need to fill in some forms, she said, and she said, she gave me some contact details and some telephone numbers, and she said, contact these people and they will help you arrange it. So I left down feeling, oh, this is going to be a big job, it's going to be a major job. But with the cost of medication here in Thailand, if I could get it in at a reasonable cost, then it would be worthwhile. So I sent an email to the FedEx people that she had put me in contact with. I told them I want to bring medication in, and they said, blah, blah, blah. They said, well, the first thing you've got to do, they said, is to come up here, come to our offices in Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok and register as an importer. I said, I can do that? They said, yes, we can do that for you. They said, they said, you've got two options. You can either give me your address and we will get somebody to come down and pick up your passport and get you to sign some papers, and then we will get it back here and we will do the registration for you. Or the other alternative is you come up here to see us, just around the airport, and we can do everything whilst you're here. Well, it made no sense to me, so the next day, bright and early, we jumped in the trusty pickup and drove up to Bangkok Airport, as is in my previous video, the customs video. And we got there and we done the necessary paperwork, and I expected to be charged a sizable amount for the work they'd done, but it was free. The only thing I had to pay for was some photocopying, which was very cheap, and then I left there and we came back home. When I got home after a couple of days, I had heard nothing from FedEx, and I contacted them and I said, look, how do I know when I'm registered? And she said she would check for me, and then I got an email from them saying, your registration is complete. And that was it. I said, well, okay, it's okay saying my registration is complete, but I've got no references to it whatsoever. And then I contacted FedEx again. I said, well, don't I have a certificate or a number or something? And they said, well, they look after that, but you're registered. Okay. My wife also made an inquiry with people we met at the airport, and they said, yes, you can bring your medication as long as you've got an importer's license with customs, or you've got a prescription from a doctor here in Thailand that works in an international hospital. Well, as it happened, I had both. I just registered for customs and I already had a prescription from the doctor I saw in Bangkok. So I thought it must work. So then we set out to get the medication picked up in UK and brought to here, which is quite easily done through FedEx. And I arranged, my medication was being held by a friend of mine in UK, and I asked him to get one of these boxes from the post office and box it all up ready. He has my address here, he fills in all the addresses and things. And I thought, well, that's it. That's all I need. So I then got on to FedEx and I arranged for them to pick it up, which was the next day from then. And I thought, tickety-boo, here we go. Oh, no, it didn't quite work like that. I got a message to phone my friend the next day. And when I phoned him up, he said they'd come to pick up the parcel. They looked at it and they said, where's the paperwork? And he said, well, that's the parcel. We don't have any paperwork. They said, well, we can't pick it up. And he walked away and left it. They said, if you get the paperwork tomorrow, let us know and we'll come back and pick it up. So then I looked at, I thought, I'm stupid here. Of course you're going to need some paperwork, because just to send a box here to Thailand, you have to have some sort of customs declaration. And then I read up various regulations, and indeed, there was a form CN22, which is a customs declaration. And you can get them from any post office in the UK, and I don't know other countries where you get them from, but it's a common form for a customs declaration. So I then asked my pal in the UK to please go in the post office and ask them for a CN22. And he did that the same day, and then he contacted me again. He said, he went in the post office, he asked for a CN22, and they asked about what I was sending, and when I told them I was sending it a FedEx, they said, well, you can't use one of our CN22 forms. Well, that pissed me off slightly. I thought, why did he tell them he was using FedEx? He should have just said he's preparing a parcel, blah, 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 and we wouldn't have this. They don't want to give us one of their forms because we're using another company, but if it's a CN22, they must be the same. And I thought, I wish they'd thought about this, but actually, You couldn't have done it that way anyway. You couldn't have used a post office, as I've eventually found out. But then I started doing some homework on the paperwork, and I found out, when I read all the instructions on the FedEx site, you know, I'm an ex-engineer, and when we do things, the last thing we do is try to read the instructions to get things done. We think we know it all, and we never do. So I started reading the FedEx instructions, and it told me that how to go online and prepare all the necessary paperwork on my account. That's the other thing. I had to register for a FedEx account, which required a credit card, it said. Something I don't have anymore. I've never had credit cards for years. I don't like them. I avoid them like the plague. But speaking to one of the FedEx reps in the UK, he said, well, you might be able to create an account with a debit card. Well, obviously I've got debit cards, and I was successful in that. It let me register an account with a debit card. So I had an account number. So with that account number, I could arrange the pickup, etc. And I could also access the site to check all the regulations and how I should go about things. Well, when I went to book this this pickup online and this transportation of this box from UK to here, then, well, I went online and I've checked FedEx's site, and of course FedEx is a worldwide organisation, a very professional company, and I still live years in the past. And once I read all the instructions and started doing as I was told, very easily I went into arrange a pickup and a delivery, and that meant that I had to create a waybill, a pro forma invoice, a customs declaration, blah, 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 anyway. So I filled in all the one page came up and it asked me the details, filled all these in on the computer, pressed next, expecting another page of information required, and it said, moment, and then it said, your documents are now prepared, and you can print them off and arrange the pickup. Oh, so I printed them off, and wow, I had all the documents that were required, easily, it took 5 minutes. But then I had another problem there, because normally what I should be able to do is just email these documents to my friend, get him to print them off, and Bob's your uncle. He can give them to the FedEx driver. I also got a couple of these pouches that you stick on the box where all this documentation can go inside. I got them from the FedEx office here in Pattaya. So I looked in for these pouches in the UK, and you can buy them through various stationers there. But I'll come back to those in a moment. Now I had another problem, because although I've got all this paperwork, how can I get it to my friend? Because my friend has no technical ability at all with computers, printers. He can't even use his telephone other than answer calls and maybe send the odd SMS. But that's, although he's got a big smart telephone, or bells and whistles, he can't use it. And he doesn't even know anybody in his circle that would do it for him. And I wanted to be sure it was done properly. So then I went down the idea of, okay, I'll prepare all the documents, I'll get everything ready, I will put them in an envelope, and I will fast ship them, once again through FedEx, from here to him. So all he's got to do is take them out of the FedEx envelope and give them to the FedEx driver. Easy. And that's what I done, and it was easy. I printed all the documents off, signed everything, took them down to the FedEx office, said to the girl down there, I've got all these documents. She needs to just check the contents before they were put in a FedEx envelope. And she also said, well, you don't really need to send pouches because all the FedEx lorries carry these pouches. But anyway, I enclosed them anyway. I sent them to him, just to be double sure. So I gave them to her, and it was I posted this letter package on a Monday, and he had it in his hands on the Wednesday morning, from here to UK. Wow, that was good. That was very good. It was express, excellent. Only problem is it was expensive. Just those few documents to be sent from here and delivered to him in his house there cost me £53, about, that's UK money, about $60, which is expensive. But he had them. And then, when he confirmed he'd got them, I then arranged a pickup for the next day. And when, according to my friend there, when the FedEx man turned up the next day, he showed him the documents, he showed him the box, and the man said, fine, leave it with him, he can take care of it from there. And the box went, wow, brilliant, it's on its way, it's coming to Thailand. I was very, very happy about that. And the estimated delivery here was 3 days. 3 days later, I was supposed to have it here. Well, they sent me a tracking number, and I started tracking it. And then I noticed after 2 days, when it was almost due to be here, I looked up the tracking on it and it said stuck in clearance. I thought, oh my God, it's arrived in Pattaya and it's waiting clearance in the customs here. Why is it taking so long? Why is nobody phoning me to tell me there's a problem in clearance? So I left it and I went in the next day again and I checked the tracking again, and it still had this message, stuck in clearance. I was a little bit pissed off actually. I thought, well, why aren't FedEx telling me about this? It's here in Thailand and nobody's talking to me about it. They're going to let it lie there? And then I read about if it's not collected in 21 days, they will forcibly return it to its sender. Well, I didn't want that, did I? I just spent all this money and got everything organised to get it. I don't want them sending it back. So I rang FedEx and I said, listen, this is my shipment number. I said, it says it's stuck in clearance. Why haven't you been in touch with me? So the lady said, well, no. She said, I'll check for you. And she went on her computer, obviously. And then she came back, she said, yes, it's stuck in clearance at Stansted Airport in the UK. She said, I don't know why, but the hold-up's in the UK. We're expecting it to be released shortly. There's quite a few things in hold-up there. And it transpired that the hold-up was due to the Brexit thing anyway. The UK leaving the European Union, and they were having a build-up of problems like this. So anyway, that was it. And then the next morning, that did give me a bit of peace, a bit of consolation that it might be on its way. And then the next day, I opened it up and it said it's in transit. It's at Paris Orly Airport. I thought, well, it's taking a long time to get Stansted to Paris Airport. It's not even an hour's flight. But it was moving, so that's positive. That's positive. And then the next day, I looked on there first thing in the morning, and it went on in transit. It left Paris and it was in transit. I thought, good, it's still traveling. And then later that morning, after I had my breakfast, I just briefly went in again, and then I read it's out for delivery. And I thought, oh my God, how can it be out for delivery? They've not contacted me even to say anything. It's in customs. They've not asked to see my doctor's certificate, so they've not asked to see anything. And I said to my wife, I went back out to my wife, who was still sitting at the breakfast table, and I said to her, it said it's in transit. I said, well, how can that be? I said, it can only have arrived this morning, and I don't believe it's on delivery. So she said, well, I don't know, we'll just wait and see what happens. And as she said that, I turned around and at my front door pulled up a FedEx van with my box. Unbelievable. I was so happy. Wow, this is terrific. And they didn't need the doctor's papers because I'd registered as an importer of personal medication at Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok. And the FedEx had registered me into the paperless deliveries. So as long as all the papers are in order and the contents are in order, that's all that's needed. So it was a bit of a messing around, and it could have been easier, but the delivery cost me in total for just the box, not the letter, for the box was £115. The 50 odd pounds, 165, say £170 everything, with the big expense of the letters making a big increase in the cost. But there again, it's done. And as it transpires, that the money that I spent to get that 12 months of medication here is less than 50% of what I pay for 1 month to buy the medication here. So it was a success. If you need any assistance with getting your medication from any country, we know how to do it now. And if you want advice or you want assistance, my wife will gladly help you out. I can speak some Thai, but when we were at the airport and we were dealing with the FedEx and the customs, they couldn't speak much English, and my wife dealt with all the questions and the filling in the forms, etc. And it made life very easy for me. So I've got my medication. I don't need any more for a year now. I hope by that time, I hope and pray that Thailand will be open, and I will be in a position to be able to fly to the UK and get my own medication and carry on with my regime with my doctors, etc. But that's the story, and it's here. So if you need help, please, you're welcome to contact us, and we will gladly help you out. Now then, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it interesting, if it's going to help you, please give it the thumbs up, ring the bell, subscribe, do all these things. It would just greatly assist us, greatly assist me anyway, and I would appreciate it. There's also below this video, there's also a PayPal button where you can make a small donation to the channel just to help us make other videos when we might have to travel elsewhere, etc. So, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves. Keep away from this horrible COVID shit, and see you again soon, I hope. Thank you.